Tonight we talk about investing in our community and we get you ready for the holiday season. Roll it, Ed. Welcome back inside of Studio A. Tonight we begin with a conversation about investing in the capital region with the 100 Black Men of Greater Baton Rouge, the newly minted executive director, Darius Lannis, and the president and chairman, Michael Adams, who are here with us in studio. Gentlemen, how are y'all?
Good evening. It's great to be here with you.
Great to be here.
So let's start at the beginning for people who have heard about the 100 Black Men of Greater Baton Rouge, an organization that has a long history of investing in community and being advocates. But if someone doesn't know about the organization, let's tell them what it is.
Okay.
So, thank you, Darius. Well, let me just first introduce to the community our new executive director, Mr. Darius Lannis. We are so excited, Clay, to have him on board. And we are expecting great things from him, and he's already, shot out like a cannon. But the 100, we will be celebrating 30 years in this community next year. We are primarily about mentoring young people, in particular African-American young men. We have an educational component. We have a literacy component. We believe in healthy living, wellness. We believe in just a holistic approach to mentoring. Our motto is what they see is what they'll be. And that's what we have tried to exemplify in the Greater Baton Rouge community by touching the lives of just hundreds and hundreds of community children through our ACT programs, through our financial literacy programs, through our STEM programs, and by just creating environments where our kids can have a chance.
Right. Want to add anything to that?
It's a dream come true to be part of the 100. As I always tell people, my story with the 100 started in the summer of 1997 with the Back to School Expo. Coming from a single parent household with 3 siblings, it was a struggle to try to make ends meet, and much like a lot of families around East Baton Rouge Parish today. But the 100 gave me and my family a chance, and they put a smile on my mom's face. So for me, this has been completely full circle, and again, it's just been a dream come true.
Well, Mike talked about you a second ago. Most people may know that, you are also a school board member representing District 2. You've had a law degree. I mean, you are someone who's put the work into academics and actually has shown some discipline. I wanted you here because we have so many conversations about crime on the back end, and I don't think there are enough conversations about investment on the front end, catching these kids and getting them to fall in love with their purpose and with education and giving them something to see that gives them better perspective. Can we talk about why that's so important that we talk more about that and we do more on that end?
Absolutely.
Sure. There are various studies that show the younger you engage with young people, younger in age, the more impactful you'll be.
Yeah.
We start our programs in middle school. One of the things that Darius has brought to us is that he's challenged us about starting at an earlier age. We believe that when you interact with young people at an early age, when you are honest with them, when you spend the time with them, when you listen to them, when you show them, there's something called Hebb's Law.
Yeah.
And it's scientifically proven that neurons in the brain, when they are fired or stimulated, will stimulate other neurons in the brain. So if we take a young person and you put him around another positive young person, you put them in a positive environment, that will create a chain reaction. And so, a scientifically proven chain reaction that makes a difference in young people's lives. And so at the granular level, what the 100 does is that we will take a young person, we will interact with him, and we will change the trajectory of their life.
Darius, before you chime in, we're going to take a quick break, but I want to come back and talk more about that and what we do in the community. Back with these gentlemen in just a moment. Stay right there. Back with Darius Lannis and Michael Adams with the 100 Black Men of Greater Baton Rouge. Mike, going into break, was talking about engaging young people as early as you possibly can. You, as a member of the school board, has to agree with that 100% because you know the importance of grabbing a child early to get them to start to fall in love with their potential, correct?
Absolutely. So I just take my background, right? By trade, I was a teacher, so I understood that. And then from that process, I became a school administrator. And from that process, I went back to school and I got my master's in education. And throughout that process, that's when I joined the school system. So all of these things have become full circle for me. So understanding the needs for our students, understanding the need to make sure that they're familiarized with programs early on in the earlier stages is going to align them up for success as they matriculate throughout their student career.
Mike, you know, there are government entities set up to help and assist the community, and then there are organizations who are on the ground who have the bandwidth to do more because it's what you do. And we've seen all of this federal investment into these communities since March, after the coronavirus has impacted this country. One, what are your thoughts on the relationship between organizations like yours and city, state, and local governments? And then what about the funding? Is it reaching the people on the ground?
Let me tell you how critical that is, Clay. After the 2016 flood and the awful killing of Alton Sterling, Baton Rouge was selected as one of the cities to create what's called a healthy healing, go through a healthy healing process. And Baton Rouge received a federal grant. The 100 was asked to participate in that grant. We wanted to participate, but we wanted to participate to show that we could make a difference. What flowed from that process is a program that we now have called Respect for Life. We think Respect for Life does just what you're talking about. It is a on-the-ground program that impacts young people as we roll it out. We partner with government agencies, with other community organizations, because there are not many people. People talk about it, but there are not many people who are actually on the ground doing it.
Right.
And yes, we need the resources from our government officials, from our philanthropic partners to get behind programs like Respect for Life, because they make a difference. We talk about Baton Rouge received $72 million in COVID relief funds to try to help ease some of the tensions in our city. Well, crime is a serious tension in this city that needs to be eased, and the 100 has a program that directly impacts the fight on crime, because you change the mindset of young people through this program. We need our partners to come in and help us, fund this program so we can spread it throughout the community, and we're getting requests throughout the country now. We know it worked.
Yes. We've had nearly 130 homicides in East Baton Rouge Parish as we started the month of November. Last year, the crime rate went up 30%. According to the FBI, there were almost 21,500 homicides. And that's proven. That's not the ones that are still sitting on the books that you don't know yet, if it was a murder or something else.
Correct.
All we read about and see are the outcome-based theories, but nothing about investing in changing the number of people who would become criminals. We got to do that.
Absolutely. You have to spend time with young people on the front end. You have to realize that there are circumstances that young people experience in their life that pull and tug at them. And the 100 believes that if we intercede in those young people's lives with a program like Respect for Life, where we teach how do you interact with law enforcement, how do you interact in the school environment, how do you interact with yourself, how do you become self-confident, how do you interact being at home with a single parent. All of those things are taught, and Darius is one of our trainers now. He came in the first day, and I'd love him to talk about, we've rolled it out at Scotlandville High School already, and how we're doing there with the program.
Yes, I mean, when I tell you this program is so innovative because of the types of conversations that we can begin to have with our students. Part of the reason that we miss a lot of our kids is because we don't involve them in the conversations. We just readily assume that we know what it is they need instead of bringing them to the table and
Right.
having those conversations. But being inside of Scotlandville High School has been just an amazing thing to see, because the students are not only interactive, they are engaged every single day. They are the ones that are asking the questions, but those are the people who we need to be talking to. Those are the people who we need to touch the most. And we add a social and emotional learning component to it. Like next week, we'll have a therapist or a counselor coming inside of the classroom to talk to our students about self-identifying, knowing who you are and knowing the people who you are around and who you surround yourself with. Those are the types of conversations we have to start facilitating inside of our classrooms. And since we have started at Scotlandville, as President Adams said, there has been a groundswell of support to get this program inside of schools. Now, this is where we come to the city and where we come to the rest of our citywide entities and say, let's put the funds behind it, let's put the resources behind it.
I have about 20 seconds left. How can people learn more or donate to what you're doing?
100blackmenbr.org is our website. You can call Mr. Lannis.
That's right. That's
at
right.
the 100 office located on Foster Drive. And we're happy to talk to anybody, to partner with anybody, as long as you are committed to making a difference for the young people in the city.
So we're going to do the audio podcast next week, and we have a story to tell that we
Yes.
cannot tell here, but I can't wait to tell it to you next week. Coming back, let's talk about the holidays. Stay right where you are. Oh, I'm excited about this. I got with me one of my dear friends here, Brian Dykes, the co-owner of Ben 77 Bistro here in Baton Rouge and Solera, and Mitch Rogers, who's GM over at Ben 77. So we're going to talk about the holiday season and getting you ready for all these dinner parties that are going to be going on. And then we're going to talk in the next segment about the impact the coronavirus has had on restaurants such as Ben 77 and Solera. So, gentlemen, what do we have here?
Well, we've got a little bit of everything. So I chose a few Thanksgiving wines, if you will, stuff that'll pair with a lot of your traditional Thanksgiving fare.
Yeah.
Even if you're cooking gumbo all the way up to prime rib kind of thing.
Well, and you know, people start dinner parties coming up here now.
That's correct.
And you know, that's the thing. So let's talk about it. What's the proper setup for a dinner party? How do you choose wine to go with what appetizer or hors d'oeuvres you'll have at your home?
Absolutely. Well, I think you need to look at variety. Some people might drink bubbles. Some people like a little rosé or white or red. So having a little bit of variety for everybody definitely helps speed the party along. And then also with that variety, it'll tend to pair naturally with a lot of the foods you might often start out with. For instance, we have a little cheese board here.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to kind of pick what they like, if you like a little ham or salmon or something different.
Yeah, let's go through it. Let's do it, man. Light them up.
Yeah, absolutely. So to start off, we have a little bit of bubbles here. So this is the Taittinger, a little traditional champagne. Very rich, luxurious, you know, kind of that toasty feel to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a witchy night, you know, on a nice cold night or a hot day. I
Like we're
think.
going to have tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so bubbles, feel free to pair with everything.
Right.
That richness and the texture of the wine cuts through a lot of rich, fatty, salty foods that we like to eat here in Louisiana. So definitely can cut through
Yeah.
anything. Great with fried foods as well.
Ed's asking you to hold up the bottle. They want to catch a good shot of the bottle.
Oh,
there.
absolutely. So this is
Yeah.
the Taittinger here. So traditional, nice big house French,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we also have this cava here. So Spanish wine, the Avino Spanish sparkling wine, a lot better value here, but made the same way, aged for 36 months before it's released. A lot of great value in this wine at a fraction of the cost of the champagne.
Right. So, you know, people ask Brian, and you've talked about this, about the flavor, dry versus sweet and all of the flavors. Kind of tell us why and how wine gets its flavor.
Well, I guess it's all in the process of how it's made.
Okay.
Correct. So, you know, if you're looking at the Taittinger, that's going to be 100% Chardonnay, if I'm correct on that. Pretty close, right?
A little bit of Pinot in
A little bit of Pinot. So, and then you got Chardonnay here, still sparkling. It's going to have a lot less sugar. And it's just going to taste a little different, be a little bit drier on the palate.
All right.
This is going to be a little bit richer, even though it's the same grape, just made a little bit different.
Yeah.
So
okay.
when you're talking about the taste and the flavor, you know, how's the wine made and where is it grown?
Okay.
That makes a big difference.
Right.
So, you know, that's really the main thing. And, you know, like me and Mitch Mitch is a lot more trained in it, but I drink what I like.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
tell that to people, you know, if you, whatever wine you like, and you have to taste a lot of them to find out what your palate likes.
Well,
and when you find that, that's what you drink.
Mitch, you're getting ready to be a third level sommelier?
Yes, sir. I'm a certified sommelier. Got
Yeah.
certified in 2017 in Durham, North Carolina.
So for anyone drinking wine out of a paper bag, tell them what a sommelier is.
So a sommelier is just someone who studies the world of wine, spirits, beer, and sake. It's kind of the whole gamut. And originally the sommelier was the person in medieval times that packed for the king. So you were the person who gathered all the rations, the
Right.
wine, and everything, so you could travel and do that kind of thing. So that's kind of how it originated and evolved into this kind of stewardship and hospitality to our guests in the restaurant.
Yeah, I'm only joking about that paper bag line, Mel. It's okay. You're always on time. Don't worry about it, brother. So what do we have here on the board?
Yeah, absolutely. So a few things right here. This white cheese that has it's a cheddar with a little bit of cranberry, so
Yeah.
very Thanksgiving to me.
Yeah.
A little bit of tartness, a little bit of sweetness, and not too funky like a blue cheese or something like that. Over here, this green cheese is what we call a sage derby. It's kind of a cheddar that we soak in a little sage, this herbal liqueur. It goes very well with Pinot and some Chardonnay kind of thing, so we can have that kind of herbalness plays as well.
You know, I'm gonna sneak this question in. It's not so much holiday. How much time do I have, Ed? Because I want to ask about. I like big cabs with it because I'm a steak guy.
Absolutely.
Why is that such a winning combination? I got about a minute.
Well, you know, the steaks, it's a big food,
Yeah.
right? So you want to pair big wines with big food.
Yeah.
And, you know, that steak is going to have a lot of fat to it, so
Yeah.
you're going to need something to cut that fat. So that big cab, you know, it washes your palate. So you should eat that bite of food, eat that steak, drink the wine so that your palate is ready to accept that next bite of food, and it's going to taste the same every time.
Well, you know, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening at BAN and Solera, and then what's happening in the industry as a whole. Man, the coronavirus has done a number on restaurants across the country. Let's talk about how that's been and what the future looks like. Back in just a moment. This one's open.
That one's
It
open.
sure is.
So I'm sure most of you have noticed differences in restaurants since the coronavirus, and I mean, we all have. Brian has 2 restaurants here in Baton Rouge, Ben 77 we were just talking about in Solera.
Yep.
And, you know, finding staff and maintaining staff, I'm sure has been a challenge. Let's talk a little bit about the last 18 months and what it's been like for you in the industry.
Well, it's kind of been a blur, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like you said, I do have 2 restaurants, and you know, both of them were kind of in different places. You know, Ben 77, we've been there 14 years.
Right.
A lot more established.
Right.
We had just opened Solera probably 5 months prior to, you know, the shutdown in March. So we didn't have that customer base there. So, you know, when everything took place mid-March of last year, we were able to transition at Ben because we have that outdoor dining.
Yeah.
And we were able to stay open. And I could keep some of the staff employed, and we did a lot of to-goes. Solera, we attempted that, and after probably 30 days, we realized we did not have the customer base to sustain that, so we ended up closing that restaurant completely.
How long were you closed?
March through, we reopened in August, so
Wow.
you know, 6 months.
A couple restaurants here in town did not
Didn't
have
survive.
not returned yet.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I heard from a lot of friends who run our own restaurants was the impact of the unemployment benefits
Yes.
on the service industry, because a lot of, and particularly younger folks, decided not to go back to work, to stay home to get those checks. Has there been a recession in that? Has that started to get better?
That is getting better, and you mentioned that, and you know, just in restaurant speak, we talk about, you know, front of the house people, which is going to be, you know, your server, your bartender, hostesses, that type. Back of the house, meaning, you know, your chef, your line cooks, dishwashers. I found that the benefits affected the back a lot more.
Okay.
You know, the people in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think whenever LSU and Southern and the colleges went virtual on their classes,
Yeah.
I think a lot of that staff dispersed. You know, some of those people moved out of the dorms, and some of those people went back home, and so we lost some of that.
Yeah.
So as we fast forward, now that college has gotten back in and everything's going, we're finding that the front of the house people, servers, bartenders, are coming back to work. And then it took a little time for the kitchen. You know, Mitch and I were discussing that earlier, is that I probably have the same number of people that I had working for me at both restaurants pre-COVID. The problem is that everybody was cooped up for 18 months, and now they're coming out, and the customer base, I mean, we're busy.
Well, you got the best courtyard
Yeah.
in this whole capital region. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. What about the way you have interacted with your customer base? Because a lot of things have changed since the coronavirus. The ability to go into restaurants and buy food and then take wine with you when you leave.
Yeah.
Are there any positives? And I know positive is a strange word to use when you're talking about a pandemic, but is there anything usable that you've gotten out of this that you probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise?
Well, we do know that our retail sales have increased. Okay, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
But also, what's happened is, and we're not unique to all the restaurants. I mean, we do have outdoor seating, and there are other restaurants that have outdoor seating. But what we have is we have Perkins Row. For Ben 77, we have Perkins Row, and so we have an outdoor area. So now people can come in, get on the wait list, you know, buy a cocktail, and they can sit out and wait till a seat is available. So that's kind of increased our volume.
Yeah.
Because, you know, those people are coming in waiting on a table, but they're also probably having a cocktail prior.
Possibly.
Right, we
Well,
are in South Louisiana.
That's
People do like
right.
to enjoy.
Right.
So that's kind of increased the sales just right there. And that's helped us.
Are you expecting pretty much the same holiday season as last year? Because we were kind of in this space last year
Yeah.
where some restrictions were loosening a little bit, or do you expect it to be a much more robust season for the industry?
Well, that's kind of hard to tell. We're getting a lot of requests to do small parties.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Clay, we're not doing all of them.
Right.
It's just that we are busy.
Right.
And we don't have as much staff as we had.
Yeah.
I know I was talking about the staff's coming back, but we don't have as much based on the volume.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to do, you know, those parties at 7 o'clock on a Friday when
Yeah.
you got a restaurant that's full of people.
Well, listen, where'd Mitch go? Mitch, walk back around here and bring us these two glasses. As we got less than a minute, we're going to get out of here. But tell me in 15 seconds what this is.
Absolutely. So right here, we have a little.
He has no mic. What is that, Brian? Do you know what that is?
This the Pinot?
It's the Oregon Pinot.
Yeah, Oregon Pinot. From the Willamette Valley, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so a little Oregon Pinot. This is just a great kind of light wine. A lot of flavor. Just Pinot has a thin skin, but it's got a lot of flavor to it. Ken Wright. So
About 10 seconds, getting out of here. You know this is my favorite show so far, right? Go Tigers. Should be a slaughter, but we'll see what happens anyway. You guys have a great weekend. Jay Darden is going to be our guest next week on the show. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to talk Louisiana sports history and what's happening in the legislature. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy that weather. If you get a chance, go see that courtyard at Ben 77.